Hey friends, I'm Raychich and everybody knows I'm a true Path of Exile fan. I have thousands of hours in PoE and I like RPG games the most. I played many of them, starting with Diablo 2, Titan Quest and of course Path of Exile. Now when PoE League is absolutely dead and the next one will be in a little over a month, we have something new and big. Last Epoch, the game which has been in beta version for several years, officially announced their release on February 21st. The game I bought almost a year ago but didn't play until recently. I tried it, and I love it. I will not talk about character creating, about every class and game, because it's pretty boring and common. I want to tell you about something special about this game, unique mechanics and why you should think about buying this Last Epoch. At this moment my character is level 75 and I wanna share my experience and thoughts with you guys. Of course I will compare Last Epoch with Path of Exile, because I think PoE is the best game in this genre now and I have some experience in it. Let's start with design, campaign and skill mechanics. Campaign or leveling is not so important in RPG games with deep endgame, but for newbies it's something like big guide. The first moment when you encounter with new game mechanics, skill gems, passive trees and else. Leveling in Last Epoch is a little boring but absolutely beautiful and super detailed in visual effects. I really like the way the locations look in this game, the background is really well designed and interesting to look at. Monsters are not regular boring skeletons or something, it's really funny looking dudes. Quests, as always in game like PoE, most likely no one cares about them, nor does anyone care about the plot. The only thing I didn't like about the campaign in Last Epoch was the logic of moving through teleports and a lot of different strange timelines or something like that. Maybe it's because I didn't delve into the plots of dialogues, but who cares in general. It goes through quickly and pleasantly. I think the time is about the same as in Path of Exile, or a little faster. In Last Epoch we have many passive trees, but whoa, don't be afraid, it's not hard at all. Since in this game there are no skill gems and links between them, in Last Epoch we have passive tree for each individual skill, and by leveling up the character and simply by killing monsters, we level up the skill, after we use the skill points to improve our build. Everything is quite simple, really much simpler than on Path of Exile. And this is really good, since build guides are not really necessary in this game, and everyone can make their own builds, and if you understand the game well, it will be strong. In addition to the passive skill tree, we have a common large tree for our class, in which there are 4 subclasses, one of which we choose as the main one and receive its bonus and abilities. Also, as we level up, we have skill points for a large tree which we can use on any subclass, improving our build and unlocking new abilities. I chose the Mage class, and as a subclass I chose Rune Master. This is something like a caster which combines runes of different elements to cast a specific skill. There are 3 runes: fire, lightning and cold. And depending on their combination and order we can cast a certain skill. That is, Rune Master can cast many different skills, dozens of them, but the build is based on one skill. For me it's Hydrohedron, 1 lightning rune and 2 fire runes. This is what I need to use it. I will not go deep into this specific build since this video is not about that and there are dozens of them on YouTube, but now you know who I play. I just run around the map, use the Rune Bolt skill to generate a lightning rune, then use the ability to generate 2 fire runes and press runic invocation to cast Hydrohedron. And well yeah, a small volcano appears that shoots in all directions with large AoE fire and kills monsters. I also have a shield, a movement skill and all sorts of buffs. Now about items, idols and blessings. In Last Epoch, like in any other RPG, we have helmets, weapons, shields, belts, rings, boots, gloves and amulets. But also we have catalysts that should be equipped in other second weapon slot instead of shields, but for buffs that not scale our defense. Also we have relic slots. And of course another item category, relics, which can massively scale our build. And another cool thing about Last Epoch items is that so many mods directly affect our ability skills and massively improve them. For example, here is unique relic exactly for my build, because I have runic invocation skill and it gives me +2 points to this skill tree. Also my Hydrohedron got massively AoE range buff, cast rate and fire penetration because of this relic. About idols, it's something like jewels in Path of Exile if you know. items that enhance our build in some way. They come in different sizes and occupy different number of slots, which we open as we progress through this storyline. Blessings are some stones that we get from monolith bosses, and they works like idols as well, so they will improve your build in other way. Now I will talk about maybe the most interesting thing about this game for Path of Exile players, and for me actually, is crafting. And it's 100 times easier than in Path of Exile. It's fine, you know, I like crafting in Path of Exile so much. I have dozens of videos about crafting guides, but crafting mechanic in Path of Exile is really too hard for most players. They just can't craft super endgame items without guides or any other assistance. In Last Epoch you don't need any other websites and applications like Craft of Exile. Items in Last Epoch have their forging potential, so it means it's like how many times we can craft something on this item. When forging potential reaches 0, you can't craft this item anymore. There are crafting materials in this game, which unlocks crafting recipes, and there are suffixes and prefixes as well. But crafting mechanic in Last Epoch is less random than in Path of Exile. We're just more confident in what we are trying to get doing this craft. So we don't need to spam 5000 Orb of Alterations just to get a good tier of modifier. You can upgrade modifier just by clicking on this icon if you have exactly these crafting materials for this mod. So, for example, if I want to upgrade my lightning res here, I need to have these lightning res materials shards. I have 19 of them, so I can craft it. I will spend some forging potential and I will upgrade my light res for some tiers. Also in Last Epoch crafting mechanics there are glyphs and runes that allows us to do many different things with our items while crafting. For example, to reroll some modifier or to block some mod like fracturing in Path of Exile. And you're probably wondering what I think about this crafting mechanic, and I like it and it's good and unique. One of the main reasons why I like Last Epoch now is that they are not going to copy the giant Path of Exile. Their mechanics are special, which is really cool. After completing the campaign you unlock the echoes, monoliths and dungeons. An arena maybe or something like this. The endgame mechanics, and in a few words, is something like mapping in Path of Exile when we're progressing our atlas and a little similar to Delph. So we have some monolith with echoes, it's like maps in PoE, that we run for rewards and stability, and of course loot for monsters. While completing these echoes we unlock special quests with bosses and blessing rewards. About bosses in Last Epoch I was really pleasantly surprised, because boss fights are not boring here. A lot of visual effects, epic backgrounds, beautiful monster design and really the feeling that you're fighting a boss, not a monster. About visual effects in Last Epoch, everything is really great. Like, optimization is not the best here, I have some lags time to time, but when I cast my spells as a mage, I really feel like I'm a mage, not a fucking dude with a wand and fireballs. Everything around is exploding, flying, and there is a feeling of power. Also in Last Epoch there are keys that open passages to dungeons with different difficulty levels and rewards. For example, one of these keys leads us to a dungeon, after which we can craft our unique item, which is very unusual and interesting. And this is not all about endgame in Last Epoch, because it's just the beginning. I have played only about 30 hours and I'm already satisfied. There are also arenas, different echoes, monoliths, corruption and else. But of course in the Last Epoch there are not hundreds of mechanics like in Path of Exile, where you have the right to choose what you will do and what you will never touch. But this game is going in a different direction. I hope it will not add millions of different mechanics like PoE, but focus on a couple of them and will endlessly improve them and add variety. On February 21st there will be a big update, it will be released, and they will add a marking, trading platform, a new class, guilds with reputation and much more. I will leave a link to the video announcement and other useful links about Last Epoch as well. Finally, I'm glad that Path of Exile has a competitor on the horizon, not Diablo 4, capable of shaking the monopoly of the best RPG game. And if Last Epoch succeeds, it will be great. After all, their game is truly unique, beautiful and new. Sports competition where companies try to make their game even better. I love Path of Exile, and who knows, maybe Last Epoch will become something of a favorite for me too. In any case, we will wait until February 21st, and don't forget to follow my channel guys, especially my Twitch and Discord. If you want to support me with some gold, become a sub on Twitch and the link to the Patreon in the description. Thank you, bye.